Good afternoon, everyone. Good to be back. Secretary Blinken returned to Washington early this morning from an 8-day trip through the Middle East, where he met on multiple occasions with senior officials from the government of Israel and the Palestinian Authority, as well as leaders in Bahrain, Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Qatar. Over the course of his trip, he made a number of things clear. That the United States strongly supports Israel and its right to defend itself from Hamas, and that support is unwavering. That the United States supports the aspirations of the Palestinian people, who are the victims of Hamas's acts of terrorism, and that we believe it is important to establish mechanisms to keep civilians in Gaza out of harm's way and provide them with humanitarian assistance. Over the course of his meetings, the Secretary pressed these 2 points, along with the need to secure the release of hostages and prevent the conflict from widening, to every official he met. And when he returned to Israel on Monday, after his meetings with officials from other governments, he was able to deliver these messages not just on behalf of the United States, but also on behalf of others in the region who agree that Israel has the right to defend itself, but also want to see innocent civilians protected. The work we began last week is, of course, ongoing. We continue to provide Israel with the assistance it needs to defeat Hamas, and you will hear the President speak more about that tonight. We continue to work to get humanitarian assistance into Gaza. Ambassador David Satterfield, the newly appointed Special Envoy for Middle East humanitarian issues, met with Israeli and Egyptian officials today to develop the exact mechanisms to implement the framework the Secretary negotiated with Israel on Monday, and that the President cemented yesterday when he was able to secure commitments from both Israel and Egypt. Our work to secure the release of hostages continues to be a top priority, and of course our messages to other countries hostile to Israel, other countries and entities hostile to Israel, continues to be clear. Do not enter this conflict. Upon his return to Washington, the Secretary met this morning with bipartisan members of congressional leadership on the Hill to brief them on the trip and what he heard while in the region. And over the coming days, he will continue Sam, I'm going to ask you not to interrupt over the course of this briefing. I will call you if you. I'll finish my opening remarks, but just to establish a ground rule here, I will call on you for a question, but I would ask in return that you not interrupt either me or your colleagues in the media. With that, and over the coming days, he will continue our diplomatic engagements on all these fronts.